Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. Thank you very much, Voice, for cracking. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to our post-match reaction after Liverpool tried to bottle it against Nottingham Forest. But thanks to, of course, Diogo Jota, brace, and of course Mohamed Salah breaking more records yet again, the Reds got all 3 points against Forest. As you can see, I am joined by three very special guests. Of course, we've got Jack from Anfield Road TV. We've got Ricky from the 1892 Reds TV. And of course, we've got Spider as well. But lads, Liverpool winning back-to-back footy games. It's nice to, have Liverpool not bugger up the weekend. But Jack, how are you? And first of all, how are you feeling coming out of that game?
Yeah, firstly, thank you very much for referring me to a very special guest. Far from it, but we move. Massive thank you very much for having me on. And yes, squeaky bum time. I think that's what the kids call it today, or whatever. It could have very much been that, but as we were discussing tonight's game, mate, it's a much needed, a massive 3 points for Liverpool in our top four pursuit. You were probably watching mine. Everyone's calling me deluded, but up the top four chasing Reds because we are getting top four. But yeah.
Again, we'll have a look at the league table in a little bit. But Rick, thank you very much for coming on. How are we? Are you are you happy this weekend instead of being miserable?
3 points is 3 points now, isn't it? At this stage of the season, we could potentially play the worst I've ever seen, but as long as 3 points is at the end of it, as much as Van Dijk and his mates try to throw it away, we've got 3 points and top four's on, Jack.
Again, we'll have a look at the top four race.
It's not.
We'll celebrate it like a trophy, like Arsenal did for 16 years. It sounds.
What, just cling on to it? Just go to like the local trophy shop and just like buy the tiniest little trophy for top four.
Thing is, we actually go to finals, unlike Arsenal.
That is true. Anyway, but Kev, again, Jota, after I think, what was it, 33 games in the end, not scoring a goal, has got 3 in his last 2, which of course is more than Jadon Sancho and I forgot his name, Anthony.
The fidget spinner, yeah.
I was going to call him a fidget spinner, but I thought it was a bit worse than him. But still, what are your thoughts on Diogo Jota's latest form?
Well, I don't know about the name fidget spinner, but I'd probably call him the tin opener. Because that's all he does, is dance on the sideline, kicking up grass, that Anthony fella. But no, Jota, look, he's a poacher. He's always capable of pulling a goal out of strange situations. As most players do, they need to play themselves into a bit of form. And going by the injuries that he had this season and going by when he scored at the end of last season, you can see why it's gone that distance between goals, because he wasn't playing really. And the injuries before the World Cup and all this kind of stuff just led him to not having the opportunity to score these goals. If he was back then and playing, at that stage, I think he would have been in the goals a lot sooner, but he wasn't. He was injured, and there's nothing you could do about that. But fantastic, 4 goals, 2 games. You can't ask for anything more. Competition is huge and massive in the Liverpool team up front, and long may it continue, to be honest with you. Also, Blackburn have gone 1-0 up against Preston.
Big goal there. But let's get into the chat then. Obviously, Chaz is in as hello. Hopefully, you're on a fantastic day, mate, as well. I think you're new around here as well. So thank you very much for popping in. Ben is in as well. Hello, Ben. Hopefully, you're having a good day. Obviously, I spoke to you just now. Anfield Road TV. Yeah, obviously, thank you, Mark, for putting in obviously Jack's, Ricky's, and Kev's links as well. Please go and subscribe to everyone down below as well. And Mark also saying nearly made it real tougher for us today. Yeah. Realistically, shouldn't have been a close game if anyone did watch it. But again, the scoreline says differently and says that, of course, Forest could have got something from the game. But again, for me, I think Liverpool, and we'll speak about it in due course. Of course, I think Liverpool should have won comfortably. But again, they like to give us heart attacks. This football club does anyway. But I want to quickly bring up this as well before we do move on as well. I want to, of course, give a massive praise to the Nottingham Forest supporters, of course, for the banner that, of course, has been spoken about over the last week or so. You guys would have seen on social media as well. And I believe on the 5th minute, there was, of course, a round of applause around the stadium as well, of course. And again, a massive appreciation to the Forest supporters. And again, just overall the feeling around it. Of course, obviously, I think obviously we all know Liverpool were the tragedy as well, but of course Forest was also the other team on the side of it on that day as well. And of course, it affects everyone on that day as well. So fair play to them as well. And of course, I believe their chairman as well laid flowers as well by the 97 Memorial as well, I should say as well. Anyway, but going back to the game, obviously. Liverpool now in this new style and this new formation. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold again having another assist in the game, but more importantly, being a lot more involved in the game as well. Rick, do you foresee this formation now being the main formation for Liverpool going forward? Because again, defensively we look a lot better. Going forward, we look a lot better, I would say. I think it gives Fabinho, which I thought he had a decent game as well, gives him a bit of cover, as of course you've got two sitting DMs. But what's your thoughts on how Liverpool were in that first half and how the formation helped or didn't help Liverpool in this game?
Firstly, I don't think this formation will go into next season with. First half today, I think that at one stage we had 85% possession of the ball, but didn't create anything from it. I think we're playing that now till the end of the season purely because Klopp don't trust the three in midfield to do anything with the ball, really. I just think he wants them to be sort of the workhorses that will run around and just let Trent play with the ball and do what he does with it. It's going to be very interesting to see. I say Tottenham at home is probably the biggest game we've got left this season. It's going to be very interesting to see if we play that type style formation against Spurs at home. It's really the biggest team to try it against that we've got. But yeah, I don't see it being long term. I think Klopp hinted in his press conference it's not going to be long term. Once he gets his midfield sorted, if we get a new right back, then Trent goes into midfield, then potentially you might see a little bit of the same sort of tactic here and there. But yeah, I can't see it being long term.
Does Kev or Jack, does anyone, do you two see this as a long-term option, or do you think it is, as Ricky said, do you think it is just for this season, as we, next season we'll fix our midfield?
If we buy three midfielders and don't buy a right back and buy a centre back, it'll be going forward. If we're in the market for a right back, like or somebody who can convert themselves from right back to centre back, like a Gvardiol, then I can't see it being used. I can see Trent as being more cover for the right back position in his position, and then attacking on that right hand side going forward. Maybe a Henderson replacement. He's probably an ideal Henderson replacement if he can develop his skills in that back, because he's very young. You still forget how young Trent Alexander-Arnold is. Is he 24, 23, 24? 24. Yeah. So I mean, he can still be. He's now got the defensive mindset in his game. He's not a defensive player, but he's got the defensive mindset in his game that he can now do it all from the midfield. So for me, like if Gvardiol comes in or somebody like that at that ilk, then I think that we won't see that go forward. We'll see Trent just covering him. But if we don't go for a right back and he's trying to put all his eggs in the Ramsey basket of being fit, then I can see us having to do it just out of not covering again next season.
On that con, you analyse the rest of the teams in the whole of Europe. Look at Inter Milan, AC Milan, even a large majority of the teams. Napoli, 3 at the back. City, Arsenal, 3 at the back systems. I think even Barcelona, 3 back system. It is the way forward, and especially when you get to the higher echelons in terms of European knockout stages. I think it is the way forward. Especially if you're going toe-to-toe with City and Arsenal, hopefully next season, the best way to combat against them in-game is to match them up formation-wise. And given how good Trent was last week against Leeds, I think it's the best element of his game is to play him alongside a Fabinho or a new midfielder and get the best out of him. He's the best in the business behind Kevin De Bruyne in terms of delivery. And I think as long as we get the midfielders, lads have said, I think long term, systematically, I think it's a formation at Liverpool. And we've been crying out for it, Con, all of a sudden we change the system, do something this season. And I think this is the answer to a lot of people's problems in terms of next season, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I'll read a few people's comments out. Anyway, of course, Mark saying 4 games at home and 3 games away as well. Yeah, of course, I think we've got, is it 3 out of the next 4 is at home? I think now as well, which of course will be crucial for either Europa League or Champions League qualification. Of course, good evening as well, says Doug. Good seeing you, Doug, as well. Evening, Doug, says Mark. Hi, Mark was out earlier, drinking earlier. Rob's in. Hello, Rob, as well, as saying, I don't think Ricky would be happy if we won the lottery. Mark J-Lo on the same day. Cheer up, man. No, Ricky's fuming because he can't have a rant about Liverpool losing. That's what it is. No, I'm kidding, of course. But what else we got? I'm not too bad, thank you, Betty, as well. Anyway, but of course, I want to move on and talk about, of course, the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah, again breaking the records, as we all know and love as well. Of course, now overtaking Robbie Fowler in Liverpool's all-time top goal scorer list. He's 3 away now from equaling Steven Gerrard as well. And you look at that, the games.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's absolutely tremendous. And again, for me, if we're talking about overall players in the Premier League history, I think Mo is still very underrated by a lot of supporters. Not so much Liverpool. I think obviously we adore Mohamed Salah, but I just feel like when we talk about who is the best winger of Premier League history, Mo Salah's at the top of that list.
I'm going to say it out now, Con, might be controversial. Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's best player in the Premier League era.
I think that's a bit of a debate. Suarez, maybe?
No, I'll tell you Salah all day long. Salah all day long.
And that's ahead of Steven Gerrard, by the way.
Two different type of players. I think if you're looking at Gerrard's Liverpool's best ever player for me, but if you're looking at best in terms of goal scoring, attacking, what he's won, Salah will be that player, but no one tops Gerrard but Salah because of what he's done for me will be.
Is it just get that list up again?
Comparison.
Is it 70 goals? What is it? You look at Robbie's records, it's mad that. Like 360, Mo's got that in under 72 games less than Robbie, which is mad when you think about it.
What's mad is you look at him and Michael Owen, someone who won a Ballon d'Or for Liverpool.
Yeah.
While at Liverpool, I should say. And again, you look at, could Mo potentially, get to 4th even by the end of his Liverpool career? I think that would be obviously tremendous if he could.
I reckon he can get top 3.
So what would he need for top 3? He'd need
another 4.
He'll beat Billy Little.
Yeah, it'll be.
I can't see him getting 3rd. I think that'll be a stretch.
I had to go
3rd. Yeah, I just think it's too many games. It'd need.
Yeah, absolutely, but obviously Mo getting, of course, what would be the winner, which I think everyone was nervous because VAR again had a part to play in it in terms of waiting forever for it, which again we hate VAR anyway. But if we're actually speaking about Mo and the Premier League, do we think that, obviously with the Premier League Hall of Fame scenario, do we think that he can be in that conversation?
Oh yeah, easy, million miles away, mate. Especially if he can win. If he can add an extra Premier League title, that would be amazing. He would solidify himself bloody hands down. But when these hazard you know the deluded Chelsea fans that we know, like when the big up Hazard like he's the best thing since sliced bread. Don't get me wrong, he was a good player.
Yusuf.
But Salah is hands down the best winger, probably up there in Premier League era. And he's against quite a good. I know Ryan Giggs.
I still think Giggs is above Salah, just purely on trophies won.
I just don't think Giggs was ever a winger though. Like
okay, I can't. Well, I'll never go on trophies won for players. Oh my God, sorry, Blackburn have just conceded a goal in the 94th, 5th minute. Sorry, yeah.
Tyler Morton own goal. Wait,
no, it was an own goal. It was an own goal, yeah. But yeah, that's a weird one. But yeah, look, I don't do, because it's kind of like that debate with Scholes and Gerrard, who's better. Why? I think that people need to start talking about Paul Scholes after he retired, because United never had any midfielder to talk about in the same ilk as Lampard and Gerrard, and I think that they always say, but Scholes won a lot more trophies and this and that. But I said it's not going down to what trophies they won, because teams win trophies, individual merits are won by players. So I said you have to see that he was never voted in his own team of the season. He never got player of the season, and he never got into the World 11 or into a Ballon d'Or vote. So that's what you have to look at. But with Mo Salah and Giggsy, they're two different sides. If I say left winger, I would say Giggsy's the best ever. If I say right winger, I would say Mo is the best ever.
Giggs has the most assists in Premier League history.
Yeah,
you got to take that into a. Remember that Connor on the quiz, mate? Yeah,
I do remember that on the quiz.
Jack, you would know, but you bottled it. But
I think Paul Scholes has assisted his brother's missus as well.
I don't know whether or not if this is real, but I think I've seen somewhere that Jordan Henderson is 1 assist away from Paul Scholes.
Oh yeah.
I think like.
So the debate should be Henderson, Gerrard, and Lampard.
Oh no! Don't set Twitter off because
we're not clipping.
I'm gonna tweet it out later.
What, Henderson better than Paul Scholes?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that should be fun.
I hope you do that for the banter and just sound like Fishing Rod should do it.
What is it? Curtis Jones is better than Paul Scholes?
No.
So what we're doing.
Jack's love child, Curtis Jones.
But we don't say Paul Scholes because he's a bit cheeky, like so. At least.
Well, I'll ask everyone this as well. What's your thoughts on Les Nunes in the starting 11 as well?
You don't ask Ricky, please.
Yeah,
you need
we know
20
Ricky's
hours.
thoughts.
Yeah, for me, it's similar when we had Andy Robbo as well. Robbo wasn't thrust upon the limelight quite quick, was he? He was in 1 minute and then bring out. Jurgen Klopp does this with a lot of players. I think, and I spoke with Ricky and the lads on the show before. Of course, the English barrier comes into it. We listened to that Jurgen Klopp interview, and Jurgen basically said he doesn't want to be speaking 4 languages like instructions wise. In game tactically, it just makes everything so much more difficult. But what Nunes is doing currently is absolutely phenomenal anyway. Like once he gets him more, and people might go, he doesn't need to learn English. He does in terms of understanding what Jurgen Klopp. Even better if he understood German, but he doesn't. Like his in-game understanding. Like we're analysing how good Nunes is currently still playing with like the hidden minutes here and there. I tell you what, once he learns and understands the tactics from Jurgen and everything really in terms of understanding his teammates fully, then Nunes is getting easy 25 goals, 30 plus in the Premier League for me.
He did an interview the other day that he said that he did a similar kind of start at Benfica when he got like a few goals, and then he said his second season he erupted and he was in like these 30s and these goals. He said the fact that he's after hitting 15 goals already this season and there's still 7 games to play. I mean, that's not a bad start for a player that still hasn't gotten his feet in a position in the team. You know?
He's 2 goals. I think he's 2 goals off Luis Suarez. I think Suarez had 17 goals in his first season for Liverpool, and obviously Darwin's on 15 as well. And the one thing I will say, with as Spider correctly said as well, if you go by his statistics, the first season is always the rough period for Darwin. It's the fact that he's getting 15 goals in the first season. I think at Benfica, he only scored like, was it 6, 7 goals? in his first season at Benfica, and then of course had that mad season that we all, we were all seen him in. But again, I think Darwin's, as Jurgen mentioned in the press conference, he is a long-term project, and again, we've seen some qualities of him this season. I have no worries about Darwin Núñez as well. Anyway.
Could you imagine if he took
injuries?
I was going to say, yeah. Could you imagine if he actually took all of his opportunities this season? Just it'd be on literally easy 25 plus goals. I think it's just difficult when you've got Haaland, like for even ordinary players. Like Ivan Toney's done phenomenal at Brentford. Like what Haaland's doing currently is ridiculous. It's not been seen in the Premier League era. Like he's a freak of nature. Like, but I think obviously the comparisons, of course, will be getting drawn in the summer. But Haaland is a generational talent, as we know. But Núñez, he's having a sound season.
I'm just looking now at the Premier League top goal scorers. You've got, of course, Haaland on 32 at the minute. Of course, he needs one more to break Mo's record in a 38 league game season. You've got Harry Kane on 23, Tony on 19, Mo then next on 16 as well. Not bad for a player mind that is finished, according to some people on Twitter.
28 in total, by the way. He's 28 goals this season.
I'm just basing off Premier League.
Yeah.
But Martinelli and then Rashford then next as well. And again, I didn't realise Ivan Toney scored 19 league goals this season. That's a mad, Haaland is.
We'd have signed him before he got done by the bookies. We were.
Well, I genuinely thought he would have had a suspension done by now, but the FA are like, yeah, by the way, you can play the rest of the season. You can get banned in the summer. Anyway, but Rob saying Gerrard is the best in our history, and Salah is the best in Premier League era as well. Yeah. Again, I've always adored Steven Gerrard. I think all of us have at one time in our lifetime as well. Should beat Steven G this season as well. If we get Champions League and Mo Salah drives Liverpool to Champions League, then yeah, God tier. If he wasn't already on that anyway. What else do we have? Obviously, Rob saying football is a team. Yeah, absolutely. Eamon's then saying Scholes was a gears of a mill, United's best midfielder. Do you know what?
Did you not put Jack's comment up there? No? I was laughing to myself in the background.
Yeah, get it up.
Jack's, where is it? We were talking about him earlier. That's.
The Manchester toe sucker. That's what he is.
Don't you mean toe cruncher? He didn't suck.
Yeah. That's Man United's highlight of the season. Yeah.
I always thought though, right, one midfielder that was underrated for Manchester United was Jason Park.
And Carrick as well. I think Carrick's tremendous.
I think for me, Jason Park was massively underrated at Liverpool. Not Liverpool, at Manchester United.
Well, I wish we had him.
I wish we had him.
We had the knockoff version in Taki Minamino.
No, we done well. He done well, Taki. Well, I think he's so like the best moment of.
Hang on a minute. Do we want to get back the 2020 compilations of Ricky calling out Gini Wijnaldum? I have them saved up, Ricky.
My man went on a free transfer because Klopp didn't want him, so I was right all along.
Terrible. Zane saying Klopp was so focused on the game he snubbed a club legend. Let's hope he's more ruthless with the squad in the summer as well. I think so. I think Liverpool are working very hard behind the scenes as well.
If Milner gets a new deal, you know he's not going to be ruthless in the summer.
For God's sake.
That will set the tone for the summer if he's going to be ruthless. Is if James Milner gets a new 1 year deal.
What happens if we sign new 4 new midfielders and James Milner a new deal?
Ricky still won't be happy.
I'd want to know why. I'd want to know why Milner's getting a new deal if you sign 4 midfielders.
Keep him round. Why not?
I want Milner to sign
a
10-year contract extension. If we can get that out, contract extension just to figure a hold of Twitter.
Do you remember that big joke with 2056 Liverpool manager Trent Alexander-Arnold brings James Milner off the bench?
The footy manager regen of James Milner. Obviously, and say red, white, of course. Obviously,
And
the
celebrating today. as
yeah,
well.
obviously they beat Wolves 2-1, and of course I didn't say this at the
Yeah,
start
I
of the
do that
stream,
because we
but
weren't white.
obviously with
Do you have
being
any
top of
relegation
it.
zone?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The Everton are in the relegation zone,
Where's
which
Tom?
yeah, where is Tom? Yeah, of course, Tom is
Where
hiding.
are you?
But nevertheless, anyway. But Rob, for God's sake, why is Ant giving a stick?
No,
he
it's
wasn't on
not.
about
No,
us.
he's not giving a stick. He's not giving a stick. He's giving Forest stick
Yeah.
as well. The Manchester toe. Yeah, that's not going anywhere near a t-shirt, and I'm definitely not making that.
If you-
Spider, no, no.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's happening.
I can't wait for you to get what is it, a cease and assist letter from Bosco's family.
If it won't be Paul Scholes, it would just be a ginger lad called Paul Toes. So that's
Jota is more nippier than Darwin as well. We'll talking about Jota as well. So we did mention him as well, but obviously that second goal where he just like controlled it and then just finished it was such a good goal as well. And I think Jurgen spoke about it in terms of with Jota. Obviously, goals have been missing this season, but then again, Jota has been injured 3 or 4 times this season. But it's more than that. It's like the pressing, the passing. I think Jota, for me, is, again, whenever he's being needed, like mainly, as you know, has definitely pulled punches, then I should say, when needed. And that's what Klopp wants. He wants a player that can get into the game and just take you by the scruff, even if it's in those tight positions, and then hopefully try and score and so on.
I think he's wasted up front. I think he should be on the left-hand side of that midfield, similar to where Gakpo should be. I think he'd be a brilliant interlink player. I think him coming late into the box is more dangerous than him going into early and looking for a ball to feet. I think nobody watches him and he just gets into great positions. So he'd be a perfect kind of left-hand-sided attacking mid.
His injuries just do my head in.
Yeah.
We can't continue going to next season, especially we're very fortunate have been over the last 5-6 seasons with Salah that he's not been injured, touch wood. Like, because if Salah was getting injuries, then Liverpool would have much more bigger issues.
Oh, big one for you, Jack. If Newcastle came in for Jota, would you sell him for 70 million?
I've been on record. I've been on record to saying I would, because due to the
injury
for Liverpool, for what we want to be doing next season and this season as well, his injuries. We
need to learn our lesson, don't we?
They're adding up for me, and I know it might be controversial, but I said this months before. Even Jota, it's much easier now. People go, oh, right, and like when Jota's got 2 back-to-back goals, but if you eradicate those games, Jota first and foremost hasn't been good enough for Liverpool this season for where we want to be.
I feel partly with in agreement with you with that, but I'm also like I think we need to learn our lesson, especially from Taki Minamino and Divock Origi, where the rest of the like at the back end of last season we didn't need them, but in the middle of it we did, and again I feel like we've missed out on players like that this season, where of course we've been unlucky in terms of injuries and having Luis Diaz out, and then obviously Jota and Darwin a couple of times and so on, but I feel like we need those squad players, and even if Jota becomes that in time, again, if a ridiculous offer come in like 70-80 million, then yeah, sure, Liverpool should consider it.
You could take a Mason Mount that's barely been injured in the last 5 seasons, and even though he'd be you probably get that. You get the money for Jota off Newcastle. You could probably knock Chelsea down to about 50 million for Mason Mount. Take that extra 20 million and go and get Gravenberch, and add a little bit to that. And you're talking about bringing in 2 players for the ilk of Jota, who's really good, but at the same time can be a lot. We have to learn our lessons from Daniel Sturridge. We have to learn our lessons from Naby Keita and
Milner, Ox, Naby.
Have to learn our lessons. Yeah, and for me, take the money. I would take the money and just get people that don't get injured.
I think what was interesting as well was that article that come from the I think the sports scientist for Liverpool, and where they told It was around when we gave Hendo his new contract, and apparently the transfer committee told Jurgen, you shouldn't do it. You should, look at signing new midfielders. And again, Jurgen didn't listen. They wanted Henderson to stay and give him, I think, a 4-year deal. I think it was at the time, which again, I think that's up in 2 years, I think, as well. And again, that's the thing. Liverpool can't allow what's happened this season to happen again. And that's not only in terms of midfielders, it's in terms of all positions, attack, defense, goalkeeper even as well. Like everyone's talking about getting rid of Kelleher for 25, 30 million. Adrian's free transfer at the minute. Nothing's getting spoken about him getting a new contract either. I know we've got the Brazilian young
Pitaloga.
Yeah.
He's on loan, I think, Macclesfield this season.
And I think we've got is it Davies as well?
Davies, the young.
Blood. Like we've got them too, and that's fair enough. But I feel like what Liverpool have been so good at over the last couple of seasons is having quality as number 1 and number 2. And if that means delaying Kelleher leaving by another 12 months, I wouldn't be against that. If we didn't have even if we wasn't confident enough in the goalkeeping options, or whether or not if there wasn't a backup available for less money or cheaper money.
We pay the biggest, probably us and City and United. But when you look at our wages, boys, like if Liverpool miss out on top 4, that's massively impacting, and you have to do something really, mate. But you spot on there, Con. I know I was saying obviously potentially Liverpool losing Jota, but when you look at it, we've brought in Gakpo, Jota as well. We mentioned Minamino and Origi. That, first and foremost, that's strengthened Liverpool massively.
Yeah.
But it's whether long-term Liverpool financially can allow ourselves to have that sort of depth. Fair enough if we're winning league titles and Champions League. That's what we're wanting. But if Liverpool are as not successful as possible, I think financially, it will financially strike Liverpool more, and especially when you're analysing contract extensions as well. Trent and Virgil are 2 big players on the horizon, and then we've mentioned with Thiago, mate. But yeah, for Jota, it's great. It's great. It's a surprise when you bring in Gakpo, you're getting that reaction from Jota, because at the end of the day, if he's not scoring goals, a lot more people will be questioning himself. He will question himself as well. But yeah, we all love Jota, but I think he needs to get his act together. If he can stay fit, massive for Liverpool in terms of now to the
you hit it there, but it's even goalkeeper wise, if we are to lose the 2 goalkeepers this season, you have players of an ilk of, let's say, who we played against today, Navas, that could be picked up relatively cheap, especially if Forest go down. These kind of players,
it'd be on big wages though.
It would, but it'd be qualified number 2, but I don't know how big he would go if he's at Forest. What's he at Forest? The 150 million.
He's on about 200, 300k a week.
I think
he's only on loan, isn't he? So
yeah, I think
PSG, on loan.
Yeah, PSG are covering the majority, I think, of the wage still for Navas, I think, anyway. But I look at goalkeeper. Like I think, is it Raya from Brentford? He's
free contract,
on a free transfer in the summer as well. So
that's definitely on
backup somewhere.
No, exactly. That's the problem. But I don't know. Only time to tell.
If I was United, I'd be picking him up straight away ahead of David De Gea and anyway, David Raya.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, they need a goalkeeper that can actually play with his feet. Anyway, but the Leeds and Forest dispatched in the week as well. Absolutely. Sorry, Ant. Used to Evertonian saying that as well. That's why I'm not going to read that out. I think I'm in love with Dean Smith as well. Yeah, obviously. It's huge for Leicester, and we'll take a look at the league table in a minute. But again, the whole of today has been up there as well. One thing I did want to say as well. Obviously, what Kev said about Mason Mount going for 50 million. I think we can get him for a lot cheaper than 50 million. I think because where's Brian's comment?
The only problem with that is Chelsea need the money.
Yeah, exactly as Brian said. But any players Chelsea sell before June 30th goes on this year's accounts, as they need that for FFP. They need to move players out and quickly, because after the 30th, it's next year's books as well.
When does the window open, Con? Do you know? Or
any time? July 1st, technically.
July 1st for the Premier League, June 1st for the Europe.
It's June 6th or
The
June
6th, is it?
5th for the
Yeah.
Premier
Oh,
League,
ouch.
and July 1st for Europe.
Mason
Yeah,
Mount
so-
birthday present there, Con. Me and you. Happy days. 13, 14th of June. We're laughing. Happy
Is
days.
it the opposite way around?
The thing is, again, I think we can get Mason Mount for 40 mil. I think that's realistic.
Easy. Yeah.
But again, obviously, I think as Andrew's mentioned, by in terms of McAllister as well. I think they
Who?
Liverpool McAllister.
Gaston,
Yeah, he's one of the reliable.
Yeah.
And look at Luis Diaz when
Argentina.
that new. Yeah, look at the Luis Diaz news, Con, when we were doing our shows. The majority of none of the English journals knew a Scooby Doo about Luis Diaz. It was all the foreign, South American journalists that broke it, and it wouldn't surprise me if, surprise, someone from Argentina or South America breaks it.
Well, again, if you haven't seen, anyway, of course, McAllister, supposedly Liverpool are banging at the door behind the scenes for McAllister, which again is good news.
So is he number one then?
You see reports
Yeah.
that Mount is supposedly as well. And,
Yeah. I think it's two of them. I think the
So
two of
is
them, they're both number one.
Is Jude done? Because according to
Oh, I seen this. And I
Christian
was like, I'm not
Falk.
getting sucked back in.
Christian Falk, lads, the Bellingham deal's not done, mate.
I'm stuck. Oh, the Bellingham deal's back. What are we saying, boys?
Yeah.
If he doesn't sign for anyone this summer and stays at Dortmund, then we'll just have another 12 months of is Jude coming to Liverpool?
Jude, the title winner.
True, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he wins the league this year with Dortmund, he thinks, yeah, I've done it now.
New contract. Nah, he'd be signing a new contract. They'll be in the money then. Dortmund.
Nah, yeah. Winning the German league, I think you get something like between 90 and 100 mil because they don't get their TV right money during the season like we do over here. They get it at the end of the season. So, I can't see him staying there. What's the point?
I can't see anyone paying 160 million for him though.
No, that's it. Liverpool need him to go to Dortmund and be like, listen, stop being silly. I want to go to Liverpool. Get back on that negotiating table and take what they're offering. That's
that's the
70 million a packet of Freddos.
yeah.
What
is it?
Freaking...
70 million in a date with Linda.
No. But you think about it, and judging from, I think Neil Jones was speaking about it on Redmen, and he was saying like the fact that Liverpool didn't have the go ahead from Bellingham's camp that he was 100% going to come to Liverpool.
Nonsense. That's nonsense.
I don't know though.
We don't listen. Liverpool are not tracking Jude Bellingham for 3 years.
No,
I'm
not
know
saying
where
that.
he wants to go.
I'm saying the fact that again, I think they were keeping the options open to seeing what Madrid would offer and what Man City would offer. Because again, they haven't offered anything yet. It's just they've said that we're interested in him, but they haven't offered anything.
No, but Jude's told Liverpool, "You're the club I want to go to." So now that all of this FSG PR spin, we don't know where Jude wants to end up is nonsense.
I don't know. I think he stays at Dortmund for another year, and then we do the same old. Will Jude come to Liverpool in a year? If I'm being honest, you're on mute, McKinder.
Going to make some good clickbaiting titles for the summer window, isn't it, boys? Yeah, there we go.
If you're new,
Jude is the algorithm, as they say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is playing regular more injury risk, or is it coming off the bench more risk? I feel like playing often is less risky, potentially as well. But Colwell is for us, and keep your hands off as well. Yeah, potentially. Again,
did you rate him? Did you rate Colwell?
I haven't seen enough of him. I'm not gonna lie.
I've watched all of his games. I'm a massive fan. Who is he?
That the lad that had a great game against us.
Come on, give us a player profile then. Come on.
He's 6 foot. He's English. He's playing well this season. I'm just being one of those Twitter people that like pretend that they've watched like 40 games of Fulham.
He's also a Chelsea player still, isn't
he? Yeah, so.
Yeah.
They're not going to give us him and Man, are they?
I don't know. Again, I don't trust Tobolli.
Make up for Don Solanke.
Yeah, give us that Tom Solanke money, Chelsea. Chelsea, like, come on.
For God's sake, to think that the fact he went from Chelsea to Liverpool to Bournemouth, like you go up,
What a fall
up
from
and then down.
grace.
Yeah, a little bit. But no Champions League money for Chelsea either as well. It's not even that. They don't even have Conference League money either. So again, I don't know how much that affects them. But I think they're down to 130 mil. I think they're down on.
Daddy Bowley's going to liquidate them, so happy days.
He's going to be the new manager. He's in the change room already, and so he might as well take over on the sideline.
What is it? He's the actual manager, and Pochettino is just the assistant manager.
Yeah, innit?
Like,
but have you seen their shortlist? The 3 managers. What a fall from grace from Nagelsmann, Enrique, Zidane. It's now Pochettino, Company, and the Celtic manager. The 3.
Company shouldn't even move anywhere near away from Burnley. He needs to stay at Burnley.
Yeah. Again, I look at it and I'm like even Company. It's like, if you're not happy with Graham Potter, why are you going for Company? Like, Company is a progress manager. Like, he's not gonna just walk in and go, oh yeah, we're gonna go and win the league, or we're gonna be top 4 next season. It's gonna take time, and quite clearly they don't care about taking time.
Who thinks Chelsea's getting relegated?
No.
Put in big screen here, Con.
They're close, aren't they? How many points are they off the bottom?
39 to no, Chelsea's 39 points, and they're 32, 7 points, I think.
So what? They're 7 points off the bottom 3.
Let me have a look. I'll tell you exactly.
Mate, because Lampard is not going to win a game at Chelsea. Teams below are going to win games.
Chelsea 39 to the 28, so 11 points to Everton. Jack,
what you saying, mate?
I'm not big.
Chelsea have 0 in.
Mate, listen, Lampard's not going to win a game at Chelsea, so they could be. I'm not saying they're going to get relegated. Let's be realistic here, but I think they're going to be a lot closer to it than they are like the other side of the table, because Lampard ain't winning the game. Lampard's horrific.
So it's great that he took a point off, wasn't it? Jeez, typical. Well, yeah. Nah, they'll be in serious contention now for the mid-table next season, Chelsea, but enough for them anyway. It's great to see our fullbacks, fullbacks getting assists. That's the old school Liverpool. Trent and Robbo getting an assist apiece. Set piece deliveries were on point today.
Well, it's now the fact that Trent has 7 assists now this season. It's 4 in the last 3 games for him. I'm just going to quickly look at get the league table up as well. Sorry guys, that's why that was up anyway. But take a quick look at the league table. If he wants to, again, StreamYard's lagging for me a little bit, so apologies, Jack.
Your sound, Aaron.
Yeah.
But take a quick look at it. Of course, Liverpool in, of course, 7th now. Game in hand on Villa to get us, will hopefully get us over there again. But tomorrow's tomorrow's the big one. Goal difference is going to be massive. But tomorrow, Newcastle, Tottenham. Do we want to draw, or do we want
Spurs
Tottenham to
all
win?
day long? I'll tell you why we need. Yeah, I tell you why we need it, because Spurs are playing United and us next. After that, leave them get to the same points as our task is to get to Newcastle's points. So to stop them, it doesn't matter if Spurs get to Newcastle's points. It really doesn't, because they'll do Spursy things. Because they'll play United and us. They might get a draw against United. We'll beat them if we're on form at Anfield, and they've got tough games. They still have to play Brighton and all of that as well. So they've got tough games coming up. And I think just run on the running. I said if we stayed point to point with Aston Villa, we get top 4. They've already dropped 2 points today, and I think that they can go on and win. They've got such a harsh run. Like Newcastle still have to play. I think it's Man City, or is it the Spurs,
I'm just looking
Brighton,
now.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
They've got Spurs at home, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal,
Brighton.
Brighton, Leicester, and then Chelsea on the last day.
They're nuts. Aston Villa still have a tough time. Like Aston Villa have a terrible run of games as well. I think like they have Fulham in mind that, but they have United. I think they have Spurs, they have us, and then they have Brighton last day of the season. Like that's a draw written all over it last day of the season. So if we're in a position where we're kind of Brighton or thereabouts or like we will catch Spurs. I think because I wouldn't really, like Brighton were the ones that everybody was kind of overlooking, but there's a reason because of Brighton's running. I mean, Brighton, they have United tomorrow. Well, that's the FA Cup, no mind that. They have Forest, Wolves. Then they have United again. Then they have Everton, Arsenal, Newcastle. Right? They have Southampton fighting for their lives. Then they have Man City and Aston Villa. They have Brighton have a terrible run-in for the rest of the season. Like an absolutely terrible run-in.
Decide Everton, Kev.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So they can draw left, right, and centre. I think they'll just be the kings of draws coming up for the end of the season. I think they'll draw about 4 of them, to be honest with you. And do what?
Brighton, top 4.
No
point beyond that. 2 games.
They'd need to literally win Everton, wouldn't they?
They'd have to win out. With the run of games they're coming in, they'll if they're lucky to gain another 7 points, I'd say that's a lot just with the running that they're coming in. I think 7 to 9 points, 7 to 10 points is their max, whereas we can get at least 21 points out of all the games remaining. Let's say we get 2 draws, maybe even a loss. We can still garner enough points to go above Brighton and enough points to get above Newcastle. So I'm looking at what the running is. They have terrible run-ins. Our biggest one is Spurs next week. If we can get over that hurdle, it's the away and home is what we're looking at for Liverpool. So the home for Liverpool.
The biggest ones will be the Arsenal and City games because it's again, well, judging from Arsenal's couple of last games, of course they've bottled it. But it goes to show that if Arsenal can, if they're in that conversation of winning the title, obviously they're going to be in the conversation. But if they are just a point ahead or point behind or whatever, that's going to be crucial because. Again, it doesn't just impact the title race. Of course, it impacts the top 4 and this, that, and the other. But just looking at, as you said, Kev, in terms of the back-to-back games as well. I'm just looking at Brighton's game. They got United at home, Everton at home, and then they've got Arsenal and Newcastle back-to-back away. Like that is a tough running. And of course, they've still got to fit in City at some point as well.
Our home games as well. Our toughest games are our home games, and our weakest games, if you want to call them that, are our away games. So we've West Ham, Leicester, and Southampton away, if you want to count them as the weakest teams. And at home, we have Spurs, Fulham, Brentford, and Aston Villa. That gave us any kind of, we beat Spurs this season, but if you're counting which one, like Fulham drew with us, Brentford beat us, and Aston Villa, we do okay against them, but they're tough away from home, but you can do them at home. So if we're going by what games we have, it's 4 and 3, and our weakest ones in our opponents, I think, are away from home. Now, let's say that, I think Leicester have gotten a bounce with Dean Smith coming in, but all teams like Everton got a bounce with Dyche coming in and all of that. I think that they'll survive, but I think that they'll lose against the bigger teams, definitely.
Yeah, it's Leeds that do my head in, boys. I watched that game, and their manager's shocking. Like Everton will survive due to the inability of Leeds and Forest. But I think Forest have got goals in them first and foremost. But Leeds are just rubbish.
I'll quickly get off the bottom of the table.
Has anyone seen Paddy Power's tweet, by the way?
Oh no! What were you? I knew you were smiling at something. What have you done? Have you finished something? Have you finished someone? Who have you finished?
Yeah. So they've written. Where is it? They tweeted. Man City are firmly on course for a historic treble. Just shows you that anything can be achieved when you have a net spend of $2 billion in 15 years and break the Premier League financial fair play rules around 100 times. What a fairy tale!
He's a big Liverpool fan, isn't he?
A little bit Paddy Power.
Yeah, he's a massive Liverpool fan. Yeah.
What is it? The fact that again this season they, instead of putting one massive Manchester City badge to cover up the seats, they put 2 small ones instead.
Underdogs, aren't they? They're the underdogs.
Underdogs when you. Man.
That tweet was such a. Whatever went through that person's head to tweet that out, I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
That's Paddy Power himself. He's the one that does the tweets for them. That's
Oh,
him.
no.
Yeah.
Some Man City
No.
fan tweeted that if
Oh.
they win the Champions League, it's the biggest underdog story ever.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Easy interactions for that fella. Like he just wants his follow count to go up.
Rocky would be proud. Like Jesus Christ, it's so stupid, man. But we'll have a look at the bottom of the table now, of course, because we are talking a little bit about it anyway. Obviously, that's the bottom of the table right now. Of course, we don't look at Liverpool's recent run of games anyway on the side. But looking at that, lads, your bottom three to go down right now. I think obviously Southampton fans would have been encouraged from last night's performance, but what would be your three to go down right now?
If I'll be up for the Ed staying up if they win against Newcastle. Like they despise. I don't. It's just Everton and Newcastle fans chat. If you're just not aware of, like, they absolutely hate each other. Like both sets of fan bases. It's almost a case of Everton fans go, they think they're bigger than they are. Newcastle fans go, they think that they're bigger than they are. But yeah, it's I'm man of the match to that fella last season. It's the goalposts. We got me dad coming out with the players, cause it's by the looks of it. In the away section. Thankfully, it doesn't work for the Ev.
John Lennon, isn't
it? Yeah, but the Ev have to stay up. But I'm gonna go Leeds after watching them. Forest. Ooh. Get that table up again, console. I'm going to go, Southampton, bye-bye. Leeds, bye-bye. Oh, it's got to be the Ev, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting them three. The same three that there.
We're going to go not Everton.
Hang on. How on earth have we just done a massive U-turn on Everton? Like, it went from Everton to staying up to, Everton are gone, aren't they?
Yeah, no, because I was thinking, like, there's no way West Ham go down. Like,
no.
they're too good enough to go down. They've got good enough players, got goals in them. But yeah, it's got to be Everton. Sorry, Con. I tried to get Everton out of it, but every time you think about it, they're finished in a bit.
Tom's not going to be happy with you. But Kev, what would be your bottom three?
Everton.
Oh yeah, well I've said Everton all the time. Like, I'd miss the 6 points every year in the Merseyside derby. But I'd also like to get rid of that bloody record that they have of never been relegated. I want that gone. And once that's gone, that's the only honour that they've had over us since 19 odd splash. But for me, the three that are going down, in my opinion, will be Southampton. You see, I'm looking at Forest's record and I'm looking at Leeds' record, and it's one draw. It's one draw in six for Forest, and the rest are all losses. And Leeds' record, at least they're picking up a win every 3 games, and that's the thing that's going to save their arse if they do it. So this is why I'm thinking that it could be Southampton, Forest, and Everton. I was saying at the start that I thought it was going to be Leicester City, but I think if they get a good bounce, they'll survive. But their games are not in comparison to, like, West Ham have got poor games coming up. These, but yeah, it's. For me, it could be Forest, and I think as it sits, those 3 could go down.
6 points of that. It's Leeds Leicester on Tuesday. Oh,
yeah, that's massive.
And then you've got Bournemouth Leeds as well. Oh,
yeah. So that's a big one. Bournemouth are not as much trouble now as because they've got a game in hand over the rest, and like West Ham have 2 games in hand because of the Europa League exploits, but they still have to play United and City, and they have to play us on Wednesday.
I'm gonna butt in. I'm sorry. If anyone wants to know, Wrexham are 3-1 up right now.
Oh, okay. You went on the madness. Have you got
the second goal was unbelievable from that Mullin.
Okay.
I've just seen it on Twitter, and I've just seen they've just gone 3-1 up right now. So as things stand, Wrexham are back in the Football League as of right now. But sorry, Kev, what was your 3 to go down?
No, I was let me just mute this for a second. It's. Oh, where was I looking? I was looking at the league. So I did say that it was going to be Southampton, Everton, and Leicester. But I'm thinking that if they do get some sort of a bounce from Dean Smith, I still think they'll lose against any of the bigger sides. But they could get good results. If they what's their next games? Let me just have a look. So Leicester, they still have to play. Look at that! Like Leicester have to play Leeds, they have to play Everton, they have to play Fulham, Liverpool. Sorry, so they have Newcastle, and we need them. Like that's why I'm hoping they stay up because they're going to need to do a job against Newcastle and West Ham. If West Ham get dragged into that fray as well, so but I still think they have enough to stay up. Whereas in comparison, I don't know if Everton's running the games is atrocious, and I think that I think they're going to struggle. I think them and West Ham have the worst run in the games, but I think West Ham are just clear enough to not get dragged into it, and they have enough games.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Leeds is sorry, there, Con and Gav. Leeds' last 4 games is City, Newcastle, West Ham.
Yeah, they could be getting as well.
Like that's mad.
I think what also could be an advantage, right, Rick, is with West Ham, is the fact that they might be in a Conference League final at the end of the season as well, which will be huge. But Rick, what would be your bottom 3?
So I want Everton to do a job against Newcastle. So I'm hoping they're one place above the bottom 3, but then I'm hoping they get a points deduction and then get chucked about in the bottom 3 after beating Newcastle for us. Give them the point deduction, send them down, so that half Everton go down, they'll be in a world of trouble financially. I think they could, without sounding horrible, I think they could be on the verge if they go down
back to back like Wolves potentially.
Yeah, I mean that statement their owner put out the other day was a bit comical, wasn't it? I mean, I really don't see. If you look at the teams that are in and around them, West Ham are too good to go down. I know you say teams are never too good to go down, but they've got players in them that will keep them up. I think Leicester are the same. They've got players, big players that will manage to keep them up. Forest are gone. I think Southampton go. And it'll be between Leeds and Everton for me. But I don't see the run Everton have got as bad as Leeds have got. The run Everton have got is bad, and
it's the thing is, Rick. We all watched that Southampton side last night. Could you imagine if they got 3 points last night?
They should have got 3 points.
Like that would have blew the whole bottom 3 like off its hinges. Really, like they would.
I
have
don't know where the officials got that 8 minutes added on from in yesterday's game. To be fair.
Did you not see AFTV wanting 18 minutes added on? Lad, they were begging for it. They wanted like 18 minutes added on because Southampton were quote unquote wasting time all the game, so they wanted so much added time. Like it's ridiculous. But we've mentioned that the relegation. Sorry, mentioned the title race. Before, again, as Chaz has asked the chat. And everyone's going, what would you guys prefer, Man City or Arsenal to win the Premier League this season?
Arsenal.
I think, yeah, Arsenal.
So, if Man City win it, no one cares. Let's be really. No one cares if Man City win the league title. We all know they're cheats. I do want Arsenal to win the league, but there's a very small fan base of Arsenal that make me not want them to win it, and I can't stand their manager. The geezer thinks he's better than what he is. Captain Black, Mr. Lego Head.
He's from the Thunderbirds, isn't he, man?
Yeah, he's out of Thunderbirds. He's Captain Black out of Thunderbirds, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, I can't stand Mikel Arteta. He thinks he's something he's not. You're a cone pusher. You're a bib merchant for Pep Guardiola. That is all you are. Pep Guardiola's side piece.
I can't know what to say something, but go on.
Come, Jack.
What was I going to say? Yeah. No, that's the thing with Manchester City. It's as I said, the only thing with City is this is why I don't want City to win it. Because they're probably going to do what Bayern have been doing for the last 10 years in the Bundesliga. Bayern have won like 10 back-to-back Bundesliga titles. And City will eventually, year on year, if they keep on collecting league titles, all these Man United and Liverpool fans will all be looking at each other going, they're only 2 titles behind us, boys. Like, yes, they've not had a history in like the last 50, 60 years. No, but even still, history books will show. Like,
but people are going to look at it and think no one's going to care because of the money they've spent.
It's irrelevant. All the titles are getting taken off them anyway, and the second place teams are going to get the titles anyway.
But that's
what I'm saying.
That's the thing though. All the time though.
I never
like,
get done.
yeah. But no, but that's the thing. It's like even now when you got City fans saying like, "Oh, we're going after the treble," nobody cares. Like,
And we all
that's
know
the
Man
thing.
City fans, they're secret old school Chelsea fans. Some of them are secret Man United fans, really. They don't have a decent fan base, Man City. They're not real fans there. You can't tell me anyone chose to support Man City over Man United as a kid. I'm not having it.
I'd say this generation potentially, but like our generation, no.
I know a handful of guys that are Man City fans, but they're in their late 40s, early 50s. They've been there like a long time. So those guys are the real fans, but the ones that are there now are just
the ones that were there like main the main
main road.
and like before that, like
main road fans.
That for me, like it's special to those guys. But then when you've got like the new ones and like I'm just like I wouldn't care like if about their opinions and that like last season when they're like, oh, Liverpool are going to go after the quadruple and oh, you didn't get any end and then started like having a go at us. It's like we went as far as any team has ever done it before. All right, we've suffered this season from it, but again, like last season was such an emotional roller coaster the entirety of the season that for I think all of us it was one of the best seasons ever.
And yeah, I suppose I'll take it back. Yes, City then, because what Aaron said there, it's true. Like it wouldn't say it devalues it, but it just goes to show if the history books do state that Liverpool have won one league title out of 8 or 9 Manchester City league titles. You're like, bloody hell. Somehow City, like Liverpool broke their dominance for a little period.
I could say the same about Leicester in that bracket with Arsenal. They're winning that. I think it's the same thing, and nobody care. Like they still drop off, and it's a season where I can only say it this way: even Manchester City have dropped off a bit, but Liverpool have dropped off, Chelsea have dropped off, Manchester United have stayed the same, if not slightly worse, even though they think they've improved. They've had 7 or 8 points less than what they've had at this time last year with Ranić and Ronaldo at the club.
Jolly.
Yeah. And they haven't improved. Brighton, Newcastle, and Arsenal have improved this season, and that's it. Aston Villa in the last 2 months have improved. That's it. But nobody else has improved in the season except for them. Everybody else has dropped off. United have stayed the same. Spurs have stayed Spursy. And the only reason that Spurs and United are in those positions is because all the rest of us have dropped off. Simple as. That's it.
Talking about Villa, it just shows how bad Gerrard was as the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to quickly mention about this as well. This annoys me with City supporters when they're like, "Oh, you won it in the COVID period." Liverpool won the Premier League title before COVID was even a thing.
Yeah, I hate that as well.
Like,
they won it the following season when the full season was up, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Liverpool could have, when the league got suspended, Liverpool didn't have to come back. Man City didn't get. I think City 2 points off Liverpool. When Liverpool stopped in the period.
No, it was 25, almost 25 points.
No, I'm on about Man City's total points. If Liverpool just unbothered coming back,
if we forfeited all our games till now the end of the season.
Yeah. That's what I'm on about. Yeah, I know Liverpool won. Again, it was.
We passed 28 games, which means that the league would have had to have been awarded to us anyway because we played over the 75% threshold, which is 28 games. So the league would have had to have been awarded to us directly, even if they ended the season. Then they couldn't have just voided the league, which is great. That one extra game against Bournemouth is what did it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we think there is going to be a new title winner in Germany? Yeah,
no.
I do.
Tuchel's getting sacked. What is it?
Oliver Kahn's getting sacked.
What, like Oliver Kahn's literally going to run onto the pitch like he used to and kick Thomas Tuchel in the head. At this rate, he's a nice person.
Biggest mistake ever sacking Nagelsmann.
Was it like Nagelsmann had 3 league defeats in a year? And now Tuchel's had 4.
And was in both cup competitions. And Tuchel took over.
Tuchel's had both 4 defeats already in his manager.
And just because he's a modern manager, this is why he got the sack.
He's not modern. I think he's a whingy bastard, to be honest with you. I think he whinges a hell of a lot. No, Tuchel. I think Nagelsmann. I was on about Tuchel. I just think like he just complains a hell of a lot.
He does, yeah.
I think he throws his thing over the pram when he's in behind the scenes. I don't think the players respect him as a full manager because I think he's at a spit out my dummy stage as a manager, and I think he's too overly controlling.
The thing
Look what
with
he's done at
Nagelsmann.
PSG as well, though, boys.
Mm,
PSG, it was absolute mad with Thomas Tuchel.
yep.
But like, as I said, it's what was I going to say? Yeah, sorry there, Ricky. Before
Nagelsmann got sacked for the clothes he wears. He was like dating a Munich
press officer.
journalist.
The way that he arrives at training as well. In a segue.
So nothing to do with his managerial ability or winning games, losing games. The way he dresses, the way his lifestyle is, they got rid of him.
So he's pretty much, what's his name? Giggity you.
He's a rock star.
He's your man from Quagmire. So he's the mother. He's the real life Quagmire, and they just don't like him being like that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just to quickly bring it back onto Liverpool. Today's man of the match. I think there's a few candidates. I think Mo.
Allison as well tonight today, boys, as well. I don't think a lot of people mentioned him. I didn't mention much on my show, but yet again, pivotal saves. But that's Ali being Ali, really.
Well, again, you got Ali, Mo, Jota, Trent.
I give it to Trent. Jota could get it for the 2 goals. Salah could get it for a goal, but I thought Trent just covered all over the place for Konate when he needed to. And I think the midfield let him down on that side, which is why we conceded 2 goals, because they both came from the right hand side being pulled in. So I think that for me it's Trent.
Mark's gone with Trent as well. Jack, what have you gone for?
Gotta go Ali. Yeah, I know I didn't mention. I completely forgot him on my post match. I'd go Ali. Big saves, big moments when needed. Again.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick, who would you go for?
Van Dijk. Not joking, Trent. The throw-ins. The throw-ins were 10 out of 10 in the game. So
no, I don't want to be getting PTSD to those Stoke throw-ins again. It was like we'd gone back 20 years to just not being able to like defend a simple throw-in.
Tony Pulis is in a hoodie, just tied up like this. You can't see him in the back in the dugout, you know.
Well,
I don't get how
Palpatine vibe.
Do it.
Yeah. I don't get how hard it is to defend the throw-in. I mean, you stick your biggest geezer where it's going to land.
Throw-ins are anti-zonal football defending.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Throw-ins destroy zonal football because you don't mark. You just look at a position. If you throw a throw-in between 2 zonal marking positions, they don't know whether to step forward or go back, and that's the problem. It becomes a nightmare.
The most annoying part about it was the deflected goals.
That shade to the Aston Villa game, Con.
Yeah.
Chelsea of old. Chelsea used to just beat us with deflected goals all the time.
I was fuming when Neco Williams scored his goal. I was like, "You little rat!" Like fair play to him to coming back and having a very good game at Anfield, but just overall, I was like, "You utter rat!" Like
he didn't celebrate, did he?
No,
and Michael Dawson, who was covering the game on Saturday Social, was like, "It's embarrassing that he didn't celebrate. Why won't you celebrate? Your team scored. It potentially keeps you in the Premier League. Go celebrate."
That's coming from a player who's never played in the top club in his life. He doesn't understand how much they grow him. Like, you know, so yeah. He celebrates because he goes from Boreham Wood to Ipswich Town or something like that. Like, and nobody gives a rat's arse. So I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah. So shut up, Dawson.
No, absolutely. Right, again, I think his best moment was probably signing. Did he sign for? He was Spurs.
Was it Dawson, the Tottenham one?
Yeah, Dawson.
Spurs. Christ.
Still not a big club.
Why did you get these Spurs so-called legends on?
You had him and Tim Sherwood sit next to each other in the studio.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
What is it? Imagine listening to a commentary of Dawson and Jermaine Genius. Oh, wow. Your head would roll into Birkenhead, mate.
It was when they said that Jermaine Genius would become the new
That's what they're doing. They are. Yeah. He's going to be long-term. Gary's replacement.
Why? Like, he's so bad. Like,
who's that?
I hear watching Jermaine Genius. I hear
he's on BT. He's BT Sport, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's becoming.
Touch him.
Definitely not to employ any scouser to be. Imagine employing Jamie Carragher and match the day or something.
Was it who was...
They had Denny Murphy over Jermaine Genius.
No, who was Carragher on Champions League night trying to speak to in an interview? I didn't understand him.
Raphael Leao.
Yeah, it just didn't have a clue what he's going about.
That Katie Hebdo and Thierry Henry just burst out laughing.
Giga Richard. That's how I feel yous listening to me in chat. Probably like me. Like, what's
But
he
do you even see
saying?
the Tamori one where Carragher and Richards can't
Got
pronounce the guy's first name and they're laughing? Mate.
Give me that CBS coverage all day ahead of Sky and BT.
Yeah, it's very good.
So
Yeah, but that'll be the day when Martin Tyler finally retires or disappears.
we're having a 24-hour long live stream when
Peter's-
that happens.
Yeah, Peter Drury. Just get Peter Drury and he's fantastic.
Yeah, Peter Drury, yeah.
Like, Sky are making people retire, so they're making who's it? Jeff Street. They're trying to replace Jeff Street, isn't they? I bet you get rid of Martin Tyler first.
Yeah.
Like, he's boring.
Can we talk about George as well? Did this clock on? George was blasting AC/DC when we kicked off the second half.
Yeah.
He hadn't clicked the mute button. He done McKindo. It was like 2 minutes into the second half, he's still blasting tunes. The legend that is George. Oh, what a legend.
Brian, I'm not going to bring your comment up, but yeah, I agree. As well, I don't want to get striked by YouTube for that. Anyway, but yeah, no, absolutely. Anyway, but before we do head off, anyway, we're going to recap everything. Of course, we've spoken about obviously the title race and everything to do with relegation as well. But of course, obviously, massive credit goes to the Nottingham Forest supporters today for the banner as well. Again, we knew all week that it would be appearing, but again, obviously in the 5th minute, it was a loud applause, obviously for it. But again, obviously Diogo Jota getting 2 goals today against Nottingham Forest, which of course is brilliant. The fact that now he's back in goal scoring form as well, and of course Mohamed Salah back. Well, I say back to his best. He hasn't gone anywhere really, has he? As well, but of course breaking all the records at the moment as well. Of course, as we've spoken as well about him breaking the record, now overtaking Robbie Fowler, and soon will hopefully overtake Stevie G as well in terms of all-time top goal scorer as well. But before we do head off, lads, do we have anything else to say before we do head off?
Down, 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 down.
I don't want to be copyrighted, please.
You're not getting copyrighted with a Scouser singing. Sounds. I'm definitely singing it out of tone anyway. I speak out of tone anyway, so majority of the time. But yeah, no, thank you, Con, for having me on. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Absolute pleasure. Okay, sorry, I spaced out.
Connor's like, I've had enough of you. Stop speaking.
Sorry, I was in the middle of reading chat and listening as well, so apologise. But Rick, thank you for coming on. Do you have anything to say before we do it off?
No, just thanks for having me on, mate. Always a pleasure. And
FSG out,
and let's get Connor to 1K.
Yeah.
God's sake. Again, we need to make that. Again, if you want a t-shirt, make that as a t-shirt.
So we've got some great ideas tonight. Paul's goes
Paul's goes. Yeah.
Paul's goes. So if anyone wants to sponsor us, any shirt manufacturers, and probably ideally a Manchester City fan as well, because they enjoy it. It's,
if any I'll have to try and get hold of Matty, and we'll try and have to sort something out in that way as well. But Kev, thank you very much for coming on. Do you have anything to say before we do it off?
No, I have nothing coming up because I'm going on holidays, as I said in the last couple of streams. On Tuesday, I'm off for 2 weeks, and I won't be back to do a watch along until the Brentford game. So, but I'll be popping onto your channels from some lounger in the middle of Tenerife somewhere, or somewhere next to a bay of some sort of swimming pool or something with a beer in my hand. So yeah, and I'll pay Ricky's light bill as well while I'm there. So what's up happening to your light, Ricky?
What are you doing there, man?
Huh?
You got distracted because the whole screen went dark, and I was like, all I could see was the shadow. I was like, you know.
Oh, is it?
What happens when he's cheating on the quizzes as well? Lad?
At least I'll turn up to these quizzes.
Yeah. Whoa.
You're hosting next one, lad.
If anyone doesn't know what we're going on about, of course, the quiz over on Luke and Ricky's channel. Of course, Jack just ran away when asked about coming on the quiz.
Chat. Dude, I thought, I've got a stream. I'm doing a watch along for I don't even know what game it was. I was doing a watch along.
You're doing it for Sporting Juventus.
That was a good game.
Behave.
Probably much better than watching Liverpool currently in the last couple of weeks, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, but
Adrian Rabiot's a new signing we need.
we're looking at really good Premier League questions, McKindo. So again,
Come on,
if you
Jack.
run away from
You're
being
hosting.
host, there's a problem. Everyone, like again on Twitter or social media, just at Jack and just do something quiz wise. And again, we'll get Jack to host.
I'm going to make it so difficult. It'll be 1901. When did Liverpool win the league title? Who scored? Who was our highest goal scorer?
Again, I can't wait for that anyway. But Brian said, "What's here we go in Welsh?" God, don't ask me. I haven't got a clue.
Yaki da.
I just about passed Welsh in school. Again, I don't want to revisit those days. Again, to be fair though, in my defence, Welsh teachers were only one or two things in my school.
Connor,
anyway.
what would it be in Scouts then? Yeah, it'd be interesting. What is it? Here we go in Scouts.
You tell me.
No, this is your test.
It's not my test.
Yeah, it's a Darwin Núñez Scouts test.
It's my channel. So, but yeah, it's my channel. So I decide what I say. Anyway. Anyway, we are gonna leave it there for tonight. Anyway, guys, big thank you to all of you guys. Well, obviously go back on the stream. Anyway, of course, Mark is putting links in the comments as well. So go and check out everyone's. Of course, I think Mark's already put everyone's in the comments down below as well. So
Ryan Reynolds looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
well, yeah. They've just been promoted as well. Is it over yet? No, it's not.
No, not yet. He's went onto the screen to him and he's got tears building in his eyes, just staring at the time. Sorry.
It's mad though that he's a multi-billionaire, but he's just affiliated now with Wales. Like Americans, like I don't think anyone outside like Americans actually truly understand. MLS is one thing, but when it comes to English football and like Welsh football, like in terms of the pyramids, it's very special football. Special football has made all of us cry. Well, and we know that for a fact.
It's religion. It's our religion. And again, look, hopefully, obviously now we've got West Ham on Wednesday, I believe. Now, so again, obviously we're doing a preview for that, but again, just hopefully Liverpool can get all 3 points again, and will probably be the first 3 back-to-back wins in the league this season, probably. And again, I don't know. It probably will be. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. We'll see you all next time. Sorry.
My name's Jeff.